welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sips Sports Bar. Thanks for coming out on this storm. Lightning's hitting all around Pittsburgh for my weather report. Be safe out there. The show will be seen on Verizon 32, YouTube, Bethel Park only on Comcast 7, so don't look for it on Comcast 7 in the area. And then, of course, on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. We just hit 648. We got an update. It's still at 648, so a lot of hard work over Labor Day. We've been on a little hiatus here. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for Aaron Ward showing up here. We got John the intern, the notorious photo bomber, is in those pictures there. We appreciate Bill Boyce for being here in all the photos. We got to give a shout out to Felicia Ann. She's sick. She couldn't make it. She broke her streak here, Smoking Jim. And we're here about sports. It's a great day for sports. There's 2 Monday night football games. We'll try not to pay attention, but we have a lot of great guests here for you. And thanks for coming out to the show. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip the Prophet Hayner, with I think more predictions here. And we start with what's on our mind.
Boy, did the city of Pittsburgh sports teams take it on the chin this weekend, huh?
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about what went on at Heinz Field yesterday. You know, the Pirates got roughed up a little bit in St. Louis this past weekend. Got swept by the Cardinals, but not to worry. We're taking a little trip to Texas. We're going to go down there and beat up on the Rangers a little bit for the next 3 nights, and we're going to get right back on track again, put ourselves in a position to win the Central Division. I know a lot of people are, starting to talk about collapse again and everything like that, because you know what? Most of the people in the city of Pittsburgh don't even know what a pennant race is. And there's a lot of ups and downs in a pennant race in baseball. They play a game every day of the week. So, yesterday things looked bleak. Things could all turn around with a well-pitched game by Garrett Cole tonight, pitching against Yu Darvish, the strikeout leader in the American League. And I think the Pirate Bats are going to come to life and rough them up. But that's what's on my mind tonight, Alan.
Now, Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
here, have that pen.
You got to see Levine. I always like to start off each and every week by thanking my main man, Dan the Man is here. He makes the best coffee in the world. If you want a cup of coffee, get some from Dan. Give Dan a big hand. Please take care of your bartenders and waitresses. Kelly and Brandy, please wave to all your fans.
Oh, they're working too hard. They can't wave.
If you haven't done so already, please get a menu. 3 weeks ago, I had the best meatball hoagie I ever had in my life, and the chef is here. Chef Pete is in the back. Always want to thank the owners, Mark and Tina, for having us each and every week. This past Wednesday, I got a telephone call from a former Super Bowl MVP and still the only black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, Doug Williams. He was looking for local talent in this area, and I gave him the name of 2 players, and one of them was here and going to be a guest on our show a little later. He's the starting center on the Central Catholic football team, one of the best football teams in the state. Give Eric McAllister a big hand. We got my main man, the best photographer on the planet, international master photographer is here. Bill Boyce, give Bill a big hand. The Pittsburgh Steelers are softer than 5 Krispy Kreme donuts. Listen, old linebacker Larry Foote is out for the year because his body broke down like a 57 Chevy. LaRon Stevens-Howling and Cortez Allen are hurt again. David the Clumsy took out All-Pro center Marquise Pouncey. Plexico Burress hadn't had any toughness since he spent 2 years in jail with a roommate named Bubba. You got a quarterback on the team that don't know the difference between a nightclub, bathroom, and Motel 6 because they both keep the lights on. Coach Tomlin, I don't expect you to be King Solomon, but you got to coach a lot better than that.
On all that happy note, I'm going to promote a couple things. I was at the Bethel Park Community Day. I got to take it down a notch here. And we have the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company has a car cruise on October 6th. So if you can get a little picture of that. It's Sparky's birthday, free hot dogs and drinks, car cruise and DJ, fire truck, ambulance, smoking gym. It'll be a great day there, October 6th. And then I was talking to, with the fire department, if you go to a local buggy bath car wash, they'll donate $2 to the volunteer firemen who keep us all safe in the community. And I interviewed probably over 50, 60 people on Sunday, or no, that was Saturday. Sorry, we lost the days at sports debacle yesterday. I'm going to go right to that. Baseball seasons are different than football season. The schizophrenic Steeler fans that we all are, if you lose a game, we'll never win again. If we win a game, we're going to the Super Bowl. Baseball's not the same. Smoking Jim, I'm going to be your setup guy. They're 81 and 61. If we would have had this record 2 years ago, I said on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook, they'd have a parade. Instead, we got people, the Pirates are never going to win again. I'll take all the money that they win one more game, Smoking Jim. Whatever you put up. I know you've been a gambler most of your life. I'll book it right here. You can put that quarter up right now. But have no fear. We're going to make the playoffs with the Pirates. I've drank that Kool-Aid on this show. It's going to happen, I'm telling you. The Steelers, I predicted 11 and 5. I may, if somebody will give me a chance, maybe I can revise that pick. And I won't tell you what right now. I sent Smoking Jim a text, but please don't make that public. And that's what's on my mind, and we're going to go to our guests right after this. All right, for our first guest, we got our Central Catholic Center. So come on up. Now we have two guests tonight named Eric. So you're Eric number one here.
Eric, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
First of all, tell all your fans and plus your new fans here, because this will be on Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. And you know they drink every time I mention that. And you better not, okay?
Yes, sir.
You can drink water with lemon. Go ahead, introduce yourself, Eric.
My name is Eric McAllister. I am the starting center for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. I'm a 2-year starter as of right now. I'm a junior this year.
You're only a junior?
Yes, sir. I'm only a junior. Yes.
I didn't mean to throw you off. Go ahead.
It's all right. We have a very good-looking team this year. We started off our season very well. 2-0 start with a 65-3 win over Shaler. Week 1 and a 24-0 week 2 win over North Hills. So we're starting out pretty strong.
That is pretty strong.
Well, Eric, I don't know if you heard, but it's a known fact that all babies are born with 3 fears: the fear of loud noises, the fear of heights, and the fear of gateway. Do you agree?
Hold it. Wait a second. I'm your PR guy. He does not agree to that right now. Let him play on the field. We'll settle this on the field. How am I doing?
You're doing very well.
Now ask your younger sister, could I be your PR guy? Thanks, Michelle. How'd I handle the pressure?
You handled it very well.
All right. Well, I'm going to change it up a little. How are you doing in school?
I'm doing very well in school. Right now I have about 3.0s, 3.2, so.
Good.
Great.
This year, grades should be coming up a little bit more, you know. I'm pretty.
Well, we're going to check back with you because I like to see how honest people are. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
All right. Just checking with you because I enjoy people that are successful both on and off the field. And you seem like a very good guy. What else do you do? Are you just practicing football because that's pretty tough?
No, I try to balance my time with my music. I'm a drummer. I play my school's jazz band.
Hold it. I got late breaking news. We just have
Jazz!
one of the Jessica Lee has been doing jazz networking for entrepreneurs, and she has CDs and everything else. She's here. Jessica Lee.
Woo!
I want to connect you up because we do networking.
Right.
Talk to her. You'll listen to her later in the show.
This one seemed rehearsed, didn't it?
This is not scripted. Believe it, folks. We fly by the seat of our pants. It just seems like we script it. Wait, Smoking Jim, I'll get rid of this one. Okay. Yeah. What else do you do with this music? How long have you been playing that?
I got my first drum set when I was about 2, and I've had private lessons ever since. I play for my church.
How old are you now?
I am 16 years old.
14 years on drums.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's awesome in
So you
itself.
got your first drum set as a sick joke to torture your mother?
I don't know. It started when I would beat on the pots and pans, and I don't think she liked that very much. So it was either
Drums are quieter?
No, it was either get the drums or mess up the pots and pans. She doesn't want that.
Hey, we just got a message from Twitter. You play center, right?
Yes, sir.
Stephanie on Twitter wants to know, can you play center for the Steelers? They need one right now.
Not with David DeCastro on his side.
Hold it. I'm his PR guy. You cannot break the rules. He has to at least be a certain age and out of college before he can play.
I wouldn't card him.
I know, but you believe in homeschooling, my friend. I don't want to keep going over this. His idea of homeschooling is when you're an athlete, just practice your sport.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. You know,
I'm against it.
you need school. You do need
Let me
it.
ask you a question. You're looking to get some payback for Upper St. Clair from last year.
All I can say is if we do run into them this year, we're going to be ready. That's all I have to say.
'Cause I was at that game up at Baldwin High School last year, and they got taken apart the following week by Woodland Hills. You know,
I remember that game like it was yesterday.
I know you do, and I'm not trying to
That
rub
was
any
2
salt in
years
the
in a row.
wound, but
That was 2 years in a row because the year before in 2011, they knocked us out semifinals.
Right.
And 2
but
years in a row.
they got a taste of it the next week because Woodland
They did.
Hills spanked
They
them
did.
pretty good.
They did.
I was at that game too.
Well, that's what builds character.
Yes, sir.
I say you become more successful by the things you fail at, even if you do it a few times. Most people don't want to hear failure, but I don't know many perfect people. I mean, I'm looking out here, and we're all breathing the same air here. So I wish you the best of luck when you play, and stay healthy. Keep up the grades in school.
Yes, wish you a
and
lot
it's
of
a
luck this
pleasure.
year.
Pleasure.
We're at Z time. You should see the graphics on our video. Dave Cable made special graphics just because this young man, and now he's on a little vacation here because he has to get his master plumber's license. So he can't be on our Tuesday night show. He did a great audition for about a month and a half.
Something else the government's paying for.
No, this is right, Brenner.
Pay for that out of my pocket.
Hold it, wait a second here. I don't know who's paying for it, but I'm trying to help my man. It's warm up here. Can you get that Brenner Contracting? I met him with security, and somehow this guy's like the older son of my kids that I never had. So he's welcome on the show. He's getting a little extra time. I'm not going to give him the bum rush with like 2 minutes. So what's on your mind, little Z?
Well, I'll tell you what's on my mind now, Levine. The other day I was up at the University of California. My boxing that I've filmed and taped and was recorded during the ring announcing is one of the most hit things seen on campus. I'll have you to know. So I was up there trying to get a copy of it, and I was just for the fun of it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up and I'm going to go to college. So I get down to the administration thing, and they're like, well, what are you going to study, Zach? And I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I want to study general studies. And the lady looked at me and said, is this a joke? Who said you are, Jim Frazier? And I said, no, I'm serious. Like, I'm serious. I want to
You didn't realize that he's a legend. This guy is a legend on the campus. All the things he talks about, he's a modest guy, and we pulled it out of him. Now you're verifying his ego is just so big. He shouldn't have done that.
He's a
I gotta
legend
bring
in his own
another.
mind.
I gotta bring another Brenner Contracting. I'm getting heated up that you find the truth about this man. I knew it. It took us 2 hours to get to Cal U.
But you still didn't
not
find out which general he studied.
It's not over yet because I leave the
jeez.
administration office. I go down to the to the football.
Right.
You know, I knock on the door and there's like an old guy in there, an old trainer. You know, and I'm telling him, I'm like, yeah, I just got found out of the administration office because I was trying to study general studies and register. And he's like, kid, who do you think you are, Jim Frazier? I'm like, holy smokes.
That is Smoking Jim Frazier.
I'm like, holy smokes, it's Jim Frazier. So I figured that's how they got the nickname, Smoking Jim Frazier.
We'll tell you that story on another day, okay? But he didn't get it because of that. You know why he got it? I'll tell the story now because you're trying to get educated. You want to study one of the generals or something, so I understand.
I tried.
He's Smoking Jim Frazier because whenever you say Jim Frazier, they go Smoking Joe. So he got tired of Smoking Joe, and he said, just call me Smoking Jim, and he started his business because he's an NFL scout. He's a world-renowned Golden Quill award-winning writer of the New Pittsburgh Courier. People don't realize this stuff. That's why I associate with all you guys, because this is the talent. You make me look better, because when you're good, I look better. And that's how he got Smoking Jim Frazier. Not Holy Smokes. Now we got your Cal U experience, and I got a text before from the guy we were supposed to announce the fights for with you, from Rod Sulka. And he's supposed to be training at the 3rd Avenue Gym tomorrow at 4. But we got a prior engagement, Smoking Jim and I. I don't think we can make it.
We already know Lil Z will be in the building.
Well, we know you're going to have to give us a report.
Always. First, right here.
Because we can't wait to hear about Rod's fight defending his belt.
Yeah, October 12th is going to be a big night. We're going back to Green Tree. Looking forward to it. So
nice.
I don't know if it's going to be the combination of Smoking Jim Frazier and the Talking Machine, or Little Z and Smoking Jim Frazier on the microphone. I might just, what is that? What's his face? JT the Brick say he was going to do with his belt?
Abdicate.
Advocate. I'm going to advocate my seat on the microphone that night and take my place back with my security job. We'll see what happens. We'll get more to scoop tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, we'd show up if that cinched the deal, but we did make a prior arrangement. We got some business going on here too, Little Z.
We don't have any business going on October 12th.
October. What day of the week is that? Saturday night?
Sure is.
Well, we'll mark that on our calendars.
It will be a good night, I guarantee you, folks. Got Sammy Vasquez, Jason Bergman, and my buddy Rod fighting on one night, so I look forward to it. It's been a while, man. This beard is...
Any brothers on that card?
Maybe they're opponents.
I didn't say the only brother in the building that night is going to be Smoking Jim Frazier and Makeup War Sanders.
Whoa.
Maybe we can get them to sit next to each other if I have my way.
I don't know about that. We'll have to see. Well, what'd you think about the weekend sports, buddy? Because I know you're a sports nut like me, and we were talking off air, and you were getting a little irate.
Well, I'm kind of upset with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, they need to give Smoking Jim more of a prominent role in the scouting of talents and having a say in these drafts, in these draft classes, because they've been a bust for the last couple of years. They're not developing talent properly at any kind of level in the Steelers, and I'm just not seeing any kind of progress in a lot of these guys. And we're even bringing guys back that didn't even do anything the first time they were the first tour, you know. And he's right, you know. Larry Foote is a bum. Sorry, you know, I love you, got a lot of heart, you know. But
he got no more arm. His arm's gone.
Listen, I'll take number 92, and we're going to get a good taste of him next week in Cincinnati.
Wow.
But I would have never let him go. As long as he's got 2 arms and 2 legs and he can move, that guy got the heart of a
Zach, I can't believe that you're so down on the Steelers. You know, we're witnessing Jason World's inaugural Pro Bowl season.
Without a tackle.
Oh, by the way.
Without a tackle.
Oh, don't cloud things up with details.
Okay.
Jason Worlds played on Sunday.
Nobody knew.
Rumor has it.
I watched it.
I tell you what, now I wouldn't even, if I was the 5 offensive linemen except from Pouncey, with the exception of Pouncey, who got taken out by his own guy, a self-inflicted wound, I would not even consider, I wouldn't even call myself NFL players right now at this stage of the game, because they're
wow,
not
you're
doing
fired
anything.
up, Z.
They're not doing anything. They're not blocking anybody. I'll get more done with that team than Mike Tomlin right now. Mike Tomlin is the most overrated coach in the NFL, and like we said it before, I'm not going to, Rooney Rule, I'm not going to say that that's the reason why he got the job or not, but I'm just saying that he didn't have enough credentials for me.
Okay.
He didn't have enough credentials for me to really get the job. He didn't have the pedigree, but I guess he says all the right things, unlike myself sometimes, but I'm a lot real of a character. I would rather keep it real than keep lying to us and telling us that it's going to be okay when it's really not going to be okay. So I give a lot of credit to Chip's manager. I like how he handles himself. Clint Hurdle, he said, you know, we lost 3 games in a row here in St. Louis. We're out of here in St. Louis. We're going to Texas, and we're getting ready to play baseball tomorrow. So, you know, I kind of like his style.
But I wish he'd say winning baseball. That's what I want to hear from a coach.
But one of the things that you do have to say about the Pirates this year, they have been very resilient, and every time they've gotten knocked down, they've gotten back up, swinging, and they got right back into the fight. So, you know, that's what they plan. That's what's
I'm still with
tonight.
them. I even put out there that maybe the Sports Illustrated jinx might have affected grilling. We lost our grilled cheese for a little bit. Then they put McCutcheon on bragging about the Pirate team. And what happened? So, but here's my thing. It's a 162 game season, Smoking Jim. Not a Steelers season. 162.
And
Now just remember.
141 have been played, so there's 21 left.
And they're not going
games left. Are they going to lose all 21?
Now, if they do that, I just want to tell you, I researched it. Chips the trivia time. No. What will happen is they won't have the longest losing streak in baseball history. It's 26.
Yeah, but you know what? Take into account, mark my words on this. It's going to come down to who wins the Central Division. It's going to come down to that last series ending season in Cincinnati, with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. We've got we have 2 weekend series with Cincinnati to finish out the season, and those are going to
You're a little too
division.
Pittsburgh-centric for me. Look at St. Louis's schedule. Once they get up on you, they have the easiest schedule in baseball right now. That's what worries me. I don't know if we'll be playing for first, but I know we're going to make the playoffs. Their schedule is so. I would change.
You know what? The Pirates play better against stiffer competition than they do against weaker competition, and when you're playing against an inferior opponent, you have a tendency to become lackadaisical.
Well,
mark my words.
There's no reason to be lackadaisical now. Let's play ball.
Speaking of great talent and great victories occurring right now, the Clayton Bears are 2-0, and the victory and the winning streak continues, and the tradition continues, and Still Valley is 2-0. And that freight train continues, and we have a big game next week coming up here against South Fayette, so we'll see what we're made of in Still Valley. I know Smoking Jim's looking forward to it. That might be his stone.
Hold it, what shirt are you wearing? Can we get a little scene? Can you get a close-up on that? He does represent the neighborhood.
Always.
He's a loyal man.
Always.
We may disagree on some of the teams, but that's opinions. When they're winning, those are the facts.
What's Gateway's record right now?
2-0, and according to Rivals.com, they're the 23rd best team in the country. Rivals.com got them number 23 in the country.
Is it true that the owner of Rivals.com came from Gateway?
Yes.
So
that might be a little skewed.
So there's 22 teams better than them.
Well, you can see if you enjoy any of this sports talk here, make sure you go to our page, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. We're trying to get up to 650. I heard we were at 648. Any check on that? Did we get another one yet? Not yet? All right. Well, I got to throw that in there. We'll keep increasing. Hey, Little Z, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks for all the opinions and the passion you bring.
My brother, we'll see you, my friend.
Thank you, folks.
We're going to do our halftime show at Sip Sports Bar, where we do so many interviews that we like talking Pittsburgh sports, so now's the time we're going to do it. I always kick it off with Chip Hayner, because this Pirates season has been so great, and I'm still on the bandwagon, Chip, not arguing, just bringing facts, buddy.
Okay, and I like to bring facts, too, and I have so much confidence in the Pirates that I've already paid for my playoff tickets, so I put my money where my mouth is. But, you know, to talk at halftime here, you know, it's a kickoff of the NFL season yesterday, and everybody witnessed what happened with David DeCastro wiping out Marquise Pouncey. And I think, you know, this goes back to something we've talked about on Sportsline on Tuesday night.
Right.
Where in the interest of trying to make the game safer for the players, they've actually made a more dangerous environment for the players to play in. Because, you know, to go into a zone blocking scheme with a bunch of young, untested offensive linemen like the Steelers have, they need to practice, and they need to practice a lot, and they need to hit, which is something they weren't allowed to do in training camp or in the OTAs. So here are guys that are getting their first taste of real physical contact, and they don't know who to hit, and they're, you know, subsequently look what's happened to Marquise Pouncey.
Right.
He's out, and then, you know, we've also talked in great detail about what we feel about the referees and instant replay and stuff like that. Now, here's the NFL. They've got instant replay, and the referees still can't get the calls right. And I'd like to witness the game between the Packers and the 49ers, where Clay Matthews hits the Colin Kaepernick out of bounds. His teammate retaliates, and so instead of the ball being down where it was and it being 4th down, which San Francisco should have had to kick a field goal, the referee said they're offsetting fouls. They replayed the down, which was against the rules, which enabled San Francisco to score a touchdown and could have well been a determining factor in the course of that game. So, even with instant replay, the NFL just as incompetent as Major League Baseball is at trying to get it right. They just don't seem to be able to do it.
Well, I come from a referee type of family with my dad, so this bothers me more than anything because they shouldn't be the centerpiece of sports. And there should be rules that you go by, and they should be consistent on it. We don't have that. So, it does take something away from the game when these things happen.
But, Alan, don't you think that the referees should actually read the rule book and maybe have some kind of a working knowledge of how they apply to game situations? I don't think that's asking too much.
Hey, my dad did it, and I told you some family stories there. We couldn't go to the bathroom because he was in there reading the rule books. So he never made it out.
Maybe that's why he refereed for 50 years, huh?
Hey, that's why coaches called him up to get his opinion on the rules and how to interpret it, and that's the problem. Smoking Jim, what's on your mind on the halftime show, buddy?
Hey, thanks. I like to give each and every week, I like to give my Monday night pick of the week. I'm usually undefeated. I usually go 16 out of 17 on Monday night picks. There was no Monday night game last week, so my Thursday night pick, I was 1-0 with the Denver Broncos blowing out the Baltimore Ravens. And tonight, look for Houston to beat San Diego Chargers. So that's my Monday night pick of the week.
Oh, just give me a lead cinch pipe bet, will you, please? Early in the season, I need something to get even on. Give me one of those tips. Well, what do you think of the Steelers? I got to get your opinion on the Steelers here before we run away, because
still going 10-6.
The Kamikaze Kid is in the house.
We just have Kamikaze Kid just spoke up. We're not putting him on air tonight. We only gave him 40 seconds last time. There's his jersey up there. Is that what it is? Not tonight for him. That's our halftime show, folks. We're going to go back to interviewing guests right now. We like bringing successful people out. Notice how they cover me up here. I'm doing the interviews. What's the story? This is Eric Boyce. He's the son of the world-renowned master photographer, Bill Boyce, who's also a great chef. Just follow him on Facebook. Well, maybe not. He puts more stuff out. No, not quite, but almost as much as I do, but not today. Eric, welcome to the show.
Glad to meet you.
Tell us what all this hardware is about here.
Well, these are 2 out of my 5 inductions into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. One of these is my Master induction for Master of the Year. The other one, the gold one here, is actually I was inducted last year for an Ambassadors of Martial Arts, a Goodwill Ambassadors of Martial Arts.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a very large honor. Went all the way out to Atlantic City. Got to play a little bit of some roulette and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Then we got into the trophies and the parties and all of the stuff like that.
Nice.
I've been inducted 3 other times, one for creating a style of martial arts.
And what is that style?
It's called Shotenkai. It's actually a Japanese derivative style.
So you're like the Bruce Lee.
My style was actually recognized by the International Martial Arts Society in 2009. The first time they've done that in 80 years.
Wow. That's
so even Bruce Lee doesn't.
Let me get a handshake by that. Nice. Wow. Well, did they have that back then with Bruce Lee?
Well, yes,
I would guess.
His style was created in 1970s.
Okay.
60s and 70s. And then I was.
Well, how did you get started? Forget all this stuff. Tell me how you got started.
Honestly, I had a father that happened to be a Marine Corps drill instructor, and we bapped around out in the yard, or at least that's what I called it.
Sometimes they call CYS on that.
Yeah, well,
okay. I don't know if the statute of limitations is over. Let's try to keep that clean there.
And then I got into the YMCA Taekwondo stuff.
Where at? Where did you grow up?
Indiana.
Okay.
Bloomington, Indiana. Studied there under a instructor named Scott Smith.
Okay.
Then went from that into doing Kempo. Bar none, my favorite style, martial arts, period.
Okay.
If you've ever seen the movie Perfect Weapon.
I did.
Well, he's not the only one that has that ring.
No. Wow. I don't know if you can get a close-up like that. Erin Ward's a movie aficionado. In other words, she likes movies.
Oh, let me see that.
You don't mind if we pass?
That's fine.
Thanks.
That's a.
And what age did you start with doing this? That's what I was trying to pull out of you.
I actually started doing this about 14 and a half, 15 years old. I'm 37 this year.
Wow. So in your 20s you started, where I thought a lot of people start younger.
Oh, no, not my 20s, in my 15s, in my teens, early teens.
Well, hold it, I'm doing math here. We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, I've been doing this for about 23 years.
Okay.
I've competed all over the world. Competed in World Cup tournaments.
How many? Give me some numbers here.
2 World Cup tournaments, one in Hawaii in 2002, and then another one in Cancun, New Mexico in 2003. I was slotted to go to the Olympics twice, once in 2004 and again in 2008.
Yeah, what happened?
My sponsors pulled out. You have, unfortunately, in the state of, in the United States, you have to have sponsors in order to go to the Olympics. It's not like other countries that, hey, you're going to the Olympics and they send you.
Right.
So I got out of Bangkok.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. That'd have been nice. How do you think you would have done there?
In 2008, the guy that actually won, I beat all over the mats when we used to play around in local tournaments.
That's unreal.
You ever go up and remind him how fortunate he was that you were there?
Actually, when he came back, he called me and says, "Hey, did you see what I got?" I said, I couldn't go. So, he goes, "I know, otherwise we'd had troubles." Yeah, it was a pretty fun time. I'm 10 years undefeated points champion.
That's great.
So, it's...
Your dad was bragging a little bit about you, and not that I didn't believe him, but with his accent, I was questioning some of that, and he goes, "No, I'm telling you the truth. I'll bring him here."
Yeah,
and I appreciate you coming here when we couldn't fit you on the show, because we set a record, 13 interviews in an hour show, and talk sports.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. That was 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yes. Yeah, before the...
It was enjoyable.
I know, and I wanted you to come back to give you time. I could have did the speed interview thing that they have me doing, but I didn't want to give you 22 seconds.
Well, I appreciate that.
And if you want more what do you do now?
Actually, I teach martial arts 4 days a week from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at my school.
Well, hold on a second. I'm about shameless promotions. Where's this school at? What's the phone number? How do they get a hold of you?
What's your web address? Get it all out there, man.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the
School's name is Fighting Tigers Martial Arts Institute.
I'm hard of hearing, so tell it again so these people can find out.
Fighting Tigers Martial Arts Institute. It's at 102 McClure Street in Dravosburg, PA. That's right across the river from McKeesport, for those of you who don't know where Dravosburg is.
I know. My mother's family's from McKeesport.
Oh, okay.
I know the neighborhood.
You bragging about that?
Yeah, McKeesport, sure. We even had a guest that knew my uncle, right? Surprised you. Go ahead, Eric.
Phone number for the building is 412-466-7160. Again, I teach anybody from age 6 until they put you in a gravesite.
Wow. Whoa.
I've had students as old as
men,
76
women,
years old.
aliens, anything.
Doesn't matter. I've had a couple aliens in there. At least
No, I meant from outer space. Wait a second. We're not talking politics here. Green.
That's right. But yes, I teach handicapped. It doesn't matter.
That is great. Wow. No, that's awesome.
It's a blast.
And do they compete your school? I would assume they do. So where would they compete at?
Around here, the biggest tournaments are the Kumite, which is held in March.
We were there. Smoking Jim and I were there.
Where's it held at? in God's country, Monroeville.
That's right.
Little Z, it's a nice place, sir.
And then the Christmas Kumite, which is usually held in Whitehall or White Oak.
White Oak, okay. That's where my uncle lives, smoking Jim.
There's usually tournaments about once every month or once every 2 months.
And who competes in these? From the different age levels to whatever you set out?
Different age levels, different belt levels. You have everything from regular white belts all the way up through, I'm a master.
Any black belts here?
Yes.
Okay, I had to ask. Okay, just checking. How about green? Because that's my favorite color, green.
Even orange ones.
Whoa.
Like throwing them.
Well, tell me how many levels there are, because I'm being a little bit silly, but how many levels are there?
It depends on the style in which you take. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Enzo Gracie actually held the rank of Supreme Grandmaster, which was a 20th Dan, which means 20 red stripes on his black belt.
Wow. That's impressive.
And what are you going to do to put a red stripe under your black belt?
It's a matter of knowing more information, being able to perform better techniques.
Have you ever done any studying like in the Orient?
I've not actually went to the Orient myself, but yes, I have studied with quite a few different masters.
Are they masters like yourself then?
I've actually studied 7 different styles to black belt, everything from Aikido, Kempo, American kickboxing, Taekwondo, Hapkido, small circles Jiu-Jitsu. So I've got a very broad mix of different martial arts. And when I created Shotenkai, it was about taking what was useful out of that, again, kind of like Bruce Lee,
right.
Taking what worked and making it work better, and throwing all the junk away. I teach a lot of how to control your opponent as opposed to just beating the living snot out of them. Because in this day and age, you beat the living snot out of the guy that's attacking you, and you're the one that goes to jail, and he's smiling on the outside.
Yeah. Well, here, I want to ask.
Especially if they find out that you're a master. All of a sudden, you're a lethal weapon yourself.
Don't sign those legal papers, you're a master. You don't know anything. No, but how would somebody say they want to get in shape? Because we have a lot of viewers all over the Pittsburgh area. Say they just want to get in shape, but they don't want to really be in tournaments. Is that possible?
You don't have to compete to do martial arts.
Okay.
Competition is for those that want to test their abilities.
Okay.
You can go in and just train for nothing more than the training of it. I've got many, many students that have done that. I also teach what's called a circuit class, which is a 10-position circuit of rebuilding your core body. It changes the way you look, the way you feel, and anybody from age 9 to professional bodybuilders can do it and get a good workout.
Nice.
So it's nice.
We're going to have you on another show. You've been a wealth of information. Congratulations on all this. Thanks for sharing it with us. I really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck. Now, I call him Zeke because we nickname everybody, and I always knew him as Roy Razika. So you tell everybody who you are, and then why I call you Zeke, and then we'll go from there. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's great to be here, and I'm hoping you call me Zeke because I said I prefer to be called Zeke. Because in my youth, I used to be called Zeke, and since it's a sports show, I went for Zeke because my first nickname was Campy after Roy Campanella.
Oh, very good.
And
There
I
you
didn't
go.
want to be called Campy for my whole life.
Very smart. He's an intelligent man here, so don't let him fool you with this self-depreciating humor here.
But I'm...
Then what happened?
Then what happened? It was all downhill. But what I'm doing now, largely,
Yes.
is as little as possible, but I'm trying to help Jessica Lee with some of the administrative garbage behind the music, the website, trying to do a little booking.
I like how you do it. I get a lot of emails and yes.
all that kind of stuff. And I want you to know, out here is in the infamous Butcher Shop Quartet, which we have.
Wait a minute. Alan, let me hear those golden pipes.
If there's anybody here who has no musical experience, no musical talent, and is willing to get on stage and make a complete fool of themselves, we're looking for you.
They found me. I've been discovered. I appreciate it. And I heard you're leaving the country. You want to tell us about your trip, where you're heading out?
Well, I'm headed for Turkey for 3 weeks, and usually you are what you eat, but I am where I travel.
Well said. I couldn't have said it much better.
A number of people have said that to me, like, we understand why you're going there.
Now I believe it.
Right.
Definitely. And where did you grow up? Do you want to tell the folks here? Because you're not a Pittsburgh native. You don't say downtown like I do.
I grew up in New Jersey, along the shore in Springsteen country.
That's why I'm going with his musical skills. He's a modest man here.
I actually went to high school with Steve Van Sant, who played guitar with Bruce, and of course was on The Sopranos and does a lot of cool stuff.
See, he's like me. He's not afraid to drop names, folks. That's why I brought him on board.
Absolutely not. But I have to. Well, I just went to high school. It wasn't. We weren't best buds.
That's all right.
But I hate to admit it, but I will admit, in my youth, I was a Yankees fan. And,
that's all right. We appreciate loyalty, you know.
But no more.
No more. What are you, a Bucco fan?
Well, I've been in Pittsburgh since '75, so
okay.
The Bucks and the Steelers are my teams now.
Nice.
I had the blood transfusion.
Well, I bleed black and gold. They get a little nervous when I say it.
I bleed cast iron.
Whoa, cast iron. Well, Roy, I appreciate you coming to the show. Thanks for being on.
You guys, thanks for having me on.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
You might as well tell everybody who you are on air. We know who you are. We've been to your jazz networking and all this other good stuff.
Well, I'm a jazz musician and a jazz singer in Pittsburgh, and I've been mentored by all the greats, the old greats. And sports we have is old school here in Pittsburgh, great legacy, and jazz. We have old school, the Hill District, great legacy. And to give back to the community, we kind of started up a jazz networking show.
Tell them a little bit about it.
Yeah. And so we started out on Dazzle Night Jazz Club to try to really save the club, get people to come in who normally wouldn't come in on a Thursday, experience it, and then we also want to connect people who are innovators and connect them so they can help each other, because Pittsburgh is separated by the bridges and the rivers.
People won't cross 2 rivers, let alone 2 bridges. 446 bridges, I heard the other day, is what our official count was.
Wow.
I think we lost a few.
We did.
But that happens. So you've been doing this 12 years.
12 years. We're Little E's Jazz Club now. Little E's Jazz Club, 949 Liberty Avenue, above Mahoney's, downtown.
Smoking Jim even found it because you had us on the show. Little Z's a fan.
Yeah, it was great. It was cool. And we do 2 sets of live music. The second set's a jam session. So I'm recruiting our new jazz drummer.
Oh, Eric. Yeah, Eric McAllister.
Nice job.
It was Alton Merrill, one of our piano greats who
Really?
got started.
Drop a name. You can drop names on the show.
Oh,
Who's he know? Yeah, we mention names like crazy.
Merrill, great pianist, got him started. And what's so cool is in between the musical sets, we always interview innovators. And so sports innovators and entrepreneurs we had several times, and we want to continue to do that. And it's just a wonderful way for people to meet each other, support the jazz clubs, because we used to have about 50 between downtown and the Hill District, 50 jazz clubs, and now we're down to only a few. So it's really important to support the legacy, and then we like to shine a light on things that happen in the community.
That's awesome. And my dad was a big jazz guy. He was in the Jazz Society. He would go to Dow's all the time. So I know he had a CU because he got different CDs and everything else over the years.
Yes, yes.
And I liked jazz, but not as much as he did. And he could dance and love the jazz and blues. And he grew up in the Hill District and saw all those in the heyday. He was born in '31, so growing up as a kid, So I respect what you do.
And you talk about sports and the crossover. Franco Harris and others are involved in saving the Crawford Grill Jazz Club up in the Hill District and bringing it back.
Yes.
Roberto Clemente used to hang out at the Crawford Grill and other athletes. And so we're excited about that too.
Well, since you brought up some sports, do you follow sports at all? I've never asked you.
Huge sports fan. I watch ESPN late night.
No way.
All the time after games.
Do you?
Yeah.
Just so you can relax
I know
a little.
everything. Yeah.
Do you?
I'm an old basketball player.
Are you?
An old point guard, and I played all the way through. I still want Pittsburgh to get an NBA team. I think.
Well, they had it, but we just can't fill the arenas. NBA.
An NBA team.
We
never had an NBA.
No, that's right. You're right.
No,
I stand correct.
We had the ABA, you know, with the Condors and the Pipers.
You can't see LeBron, you can't see Kobe,
Right.
you can't see, we got to get an NBA team.
You know, and I think one of the biggest stumbling blocks is for a city this size, a market this size, to support 4 professional franchises. I think it's really stretching the budgetary constraints.
Some people say it's hard.
You know, because I mean, we just don't have.
But I say, what about Charlotte? Charlotte, North Carolina, what do you think?
Is that where you're from?
Come on, I spent 7 years in Raleigh.
But Charlotte's got the, they call
Are
it
you?
the Bobcats.
You heard it here. We have better fans than down there. Let's support it.
I'm an old basketball player, so it's a bias.
Hold it. Who'd you play for? Tell us. Name a school.
I played all the way coming up through Franklin High School.
Franklin High School?
Yeah.
Okay.
And was recruited to play at Duke to walk on.
Wow. No way.
So I went to Duke.
Well, a lot of people may just think you're a sports fan, basketball fan, but she's also educated. She's a lawyer, in case you didn't know. Or if Smoking Jim forgot.
I got a law degree.
I told him.
Learn entertainment, business law, and I have my own production company and record label.
Well, you know, I like the shameless promotion. Well, since you brought nonprofits, let's talk a little bit about that here before we move too far.
So I've started up a bunch of creativity and career programs for underprivileged kids.
Right.
You know, in communities that are underserved. So we can hook them up with creative workshops and things with pros, professional musicians and artists and fashion design, anything that's creative.
They learn from the best.
Yeah, and then they get to express their hopes and their dreams for their lives. And then we can connect with career coaches and all kinds of internship programs and job opportunities. And we really work for that. I think that a lot of kids relate to the entertainment industry, which is sports and arts. And they're usually attracted to one or the other or both. And then work with them to develop good relationships and plans for their lives. So that if they go into music or sports, they also have
or combine both.
A plan B. If your career isn't all that long, or your career is sporadic, you can also do some career planning. A lot of the athletes are entrepreneurs. A lot of the musicians are entrepreneurs.
Right. It's a good fit then. Oh, that's great. You've thought of a lot of great things with your plan here.
Yeah.
When do you ever have time to sleep and watch ESPN?
Well, I don't sleep. I just watch ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've been a Steeler fan forever.
Okay.
And
you know Franco Harris personally. You said you've done things, you know.
Franco's part of our nonprofit efforts to reach kids through sports and arts. You know, to see the music scene come back into the and to connect them with career and entrepreneurial opportunities, which is great. You know, I mean, I think a lot of the athletes have business interests that are related to sports and outside of sports.
Look at Smoking Jim.
Yeah, serial entrepreneur.
Exactly. See that? He didn't even know that because he only went to general studies. They only teach him about the generals. Okay?
Yes. Nothing below the rank of general.
Definitely. But that's why we add the humor to this. And I know I've been going the last couple years to the Jazz Networking, and I've met so many great people. Smoking Jim, Little Z was up there. They were on stage. Alicia Rector was there with us and with the modeling, and she's actually a geek. So this goes to show you that women can do many different things. What do you always say about women, Smoking Jim? And this is a setup for him. You have to hear this.
I would love them a song.
Whatever a man can do, a woman can do better.
No, he didn't just say that for you. He does this almost every week, and I'm deaf in my left ear, just so you know. I wasn't when we started the show, but I'm deaf because he has a lot of volume there.
Well, and you know, we've had at the show, we've had some of the women's football players.
Yeah, Pittsburgh
come.
Passion.
Pittsburgh Passion.
We're friends of them, and we think the most of T. Kahn, Teresa Kahn. She's actually related to Little Z. They go back to Billy Kahn. They're actually related. That's why Pittsburgh's the greatest big little city here around, or little big city, whatever you want to call it. Look at the connections. We have to watch who we talk about. I mean, in a good way, it's okay. Because he's right there. He's at a security, so for SIP Sports Bar right now. Be careful now. But no, that's great with the passion.
Yeah, and you know, crossing over from sports to the music and all that performance is key. We get a lot of really great performers at all kinds of levels to come out to the show and talk about what were their success factors, you know, how did they get to where they are, how do they keep improving, what's the mental part of the game.
Right. What do you think the theme with most of these entrepreneurs and people are? Do they have some common thread there?
Yeah, you know, I think all of the innovators, they set their goals in their mind, like very tangible. It's interesting, Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson, you take those two, they were both very focused about what they wanted to do, passionate, they never let go of that dream, and then that's the big picture, and then they put together all the little things to get you there, you know?
Sure. Plus they practice. You have to practice, right?
It's across every industry, though, I think. You know, the people that innovate, create a plan. A lot of I know Olympic athletes, I've noticed, they say the one thing they do is they write down their goals for the year.
Right.
And every morning and every night they look at it. And they make sure that every week they're getting better at those things.
Making progress.
It's interesting. They write it down. Yeah, and recently on 60 Minutes last night, they had Michael Jackson handwritten. He had written down his goals.
Wow.
You know, and they tell all the athletes and the performers, write down tangibly and specifically what your dreams are for this year.
Right.
And work hard to your point.
Sure, definitely. Because a lot of young people think that you can just go out and do something, but it takes hard work. Like everything you've done, I'm sure it's hard work, from the basketball court to how you perform, you know, how you set your stage, you know, with the equipment, with the people that you have there. And there's some great playing there, Smoking Jim.
And that's so true, because I believe in writing down the goals, because I wrote down my goals for this year, and my goal for this year was to get your autograph, and I achieved that. So I'm so happy.
Well, you know he's going to have to get a photo taken with you before you leave.
He'd like to go, believe me. He'll go with you. He travels. Just don't let him drive all the time, because he likes to talk. And we talk about our Cal U trip. Zach doesn't believe we were there. And
He drives around like Mr. Magoo.
No, we made it there. It's just they wouldn't let us in to talk, and that's one of the things I do very well. So, but we did make it. And tell them about you had to stop in a neighborhood. He was glad he brought me.
Yeah,
now, I don't
he did the
understand.
talking for us, yeah.
To get directions. Two guys, we didn't have Chip on our speed dial, so we couldn't call Chip, because Chip knows how to get anywhere and everywhere in the city of Pittsburgh and beyond.
A road warrior.
Yes, and that's with his business there too that he does.
I can remember where I've been.
Even if he doesn't want to. Off air we'll talk, but we all have that. No, I appreciate all the stuff you're doing. You know, I enjoy the jazz networking. And if you see me on social media promoting any of this, they like some of the stuff that I put there on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. Stephanie, they're trying to drink here, so I have to, the record I have is 12.
Sportsline Facebook's great.
Yeah, thanks.
Jessica, it reminds me of my days when I used to run around at night. We used to go to see Kenny Blake play, and Chismo Charles. I used to always catch him down at Gene's Blues.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to enjoy listening to them play, but that was back in the days when I was a bartender, where I was awake at night. Now I sleep at night. Just a bit of a difference.
I ran into a guy out on this 31 grill that was the RPM. A friend of mine invited me because there's a lady named, I don't know if she's still here, but it's Freddie Stover. She's you have to see her. She said she'd show up because I met her at this place because a friend of mine, Mario Tempest, who I met at the Kumatai, he said, come on out, you'll meet Kenny Reggett, Mike Lang. Well, I didn't get to talk to Kenny Reggett because they own the place, but Mike Lang was there, so I went to him and thanked the legend for being like he is. But I met Freddie there, and now we're best of friends there. And I said, come up to the show. I said, you won't believe who's going to be on the show. When I told her, she's trying to connect with you and go to things for you, so maybe this will help if she's still here, which I hope. We'll have to see if she is.
Yeah, and you know, our athletes and our entertainers, they've always...
There is Freddie. Freddie's here. She is here behind Little Z. Little Z, just walk. She can sing the blues, I'll tell you that. She even had a picture on Facebook that looked blue, and I said, you look blue. So that's how she is with PR. And we got to wind our show down here.
Alan, I didn't know you had a little Mel Torme in you, huh?
All of it, buddy. Hey, I want to thank everybody. Jessica, thanks. Just stay here while we close. Thanks for watching our show. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip the Prophet Hayner. You can see us in Bethel Park, Verizon 32, Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. Just like us, and thanks everybody for putting this on. Aaron Ward and John the intern. Thank you.